this set up straight. Well, here we go. What's going on, guys? How's it going? I apologize if this is kind of half-assed, but I've been trying to record this video and I've been trying to play around with the settings here, but seems that I'm only gonna be able to do this one way. So how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to PJ Talks. This is PJ Talks podcast where real discussions happen, and we're gonna get into this video today. It's kind of like a reactional video. It's not gonna be a full episode of how I usually make them, but this one is pretty interesting because I'm pretty sure, as you can see on the screen, Tom McDonald always gets a whole bunch of people to react to him. This is my first reaction video of Tom McDonald's songs. Now, who is Tom McDonald? I believe he's Canadian. That information just came out the other day. I don't know if that's true or if that's fact, but that's what it was said in a report recently. And the reason how I know Tom McDonald, I don't know him personally, but I know of his music, is because a couple months back he released a song that was called I Hate Hip Hop. Now, besides the aesthetics and the cosmetics and the whole way the video was shot was absolutely, in my opinion, brilliant. It was beautiful. It was awesome. It was kind of crazy, quirky, just crazy in general. Just crazy. Let's just call it crazy. But it was much more than that. It was like, if you listen to his lyrics, he was talking about the industry and how it's turned, how it's kind of rotten from what it used to be, right? It's like they don't even make music about anything anymore. It's just a whole bunch of garbage. It's a whole bunch of garbage that's being fed to our kids. So that's how I've first got into Tom McDonald. I just stumbled upon his video. After that, I was hooked. I've been watching his music videos. The fact that he doesn't have a label behind him, it's just him and his girl. She's always the ones that are directing his videos. She's recently come out with some music of herself, of her own, and it's just always fun to watch. People always kind of talk about his chorus. They're not really a fan of, but I tend to like it. But again, I'm not a music expert or whatever. Most of the people that say that are in the music business themselves. Now, Tom McDonald, you got to respect the grind. You got to respect his hustle, because again, like I said, he doesn't have a label behind him. It's just him and his girl putting up music up on YouTube, getting the hits, and mailing out a whole bunch of albums to people that purchase it, and signed handwritten notes. Like, the guy goes above and beyond for his fans, for his craft, and this, like, that means a lot to me, because I know people, I have friends who are or were in the music industry, or at least kind of like Tom McDonald, that were trying to build themselves up. Some of them have continued and have made some beats here and there for people that I know. So this is really like reminiscent to hanging out with my boys and watching them and just seeing them work and seeing them kind of freestyle and all that stuff. So without further ado, we're gonna take a look at this reaction just like everybody else has, and we're gonna see what it is. It's, again, I've tried to make this video, trying to make it work. What happened is that I've started ranting like I am now, and realized before I even hit play, and it's a good thing because I have not watched it, before I hit play I realized, like, I'm not recording. So I'm looking right now, we're still recording, you're still there. Without further ado, now let's do this.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponential.
Right off the bat, the whole Cardi B thing. Again, you know, Cardi B, good for you. You making this money and this and that. But you know, I mean, she knows she's not somebody that should be looked up. Like, little girls should not be looking up to her. You know, I believe that there was a video recently that came out that when her song came on around, you know, somewhere where she was at, her daughter was at, she immediately like grabbed her daughter's face or turned it off. Like she doesn't even want her daughter to see that at the age that she's in now. So, I mean, to each his own, right? But at the end of the day, like, this is why I don't idolize celebrities. We're not supposed to. Like, technically, in the eyes of God, if you're Christian or Catholic, we're only supposed to pray to Him, idolize Him, and no one else, nothing else. But there's a lot of you guys, people that are in my family as well, people in my circles, that you guys see celebrities as this whole, oh my God, and every little move that they make, any statement that they push, and it's like, that's what we need to. No. They're above. They're like somewhere. They don't count as regular people. All right. They good for them. They're making their money. They're using the capitalist system, but a lot of them don't know what the hell they're talking about. You know, their brain is just dog shit, in my opinion.
Dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay back. Dumb. But if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards. It's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun.
I mean, it's difficult to get a job because of the lockdowns, and the lockdowns are only in blue states. Right? Like, not only, but like the crazy lockdowns are happening in the blue states. Now supposedly we're kind of getting closer to opening at full capacity. And here in Jersey, we just got the 35% allowed from 25%, 35%, so that's better. But it just goes to mention, wasn't this said that after the elections it would seem different? It just goes to show you they just wanted to push the guy out. So, used to gay bash and murder his mom. And getting a gun is not easy. At least in Jersey, it's not easy. Anywhere else, like any friendly 2A states, it might be easier than Jersey, but you still have to go to a background, and it's like you have to do the background check that can be from 30 minutes to 3 days, or however. It depends on how many people are trying to buy a gun at the same time that you are. So it's not as easy as it sounds. Just saying. And now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American and murder his mom. And now he doesn't want fans and purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom. And now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. Let's finish this. Ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, because you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. That's so true, man. That is true. The fact, first off, on the Eminem thing, okay. Eminem was a person that was highly criticized, very controversial, because of what he chose to rap about, what he chose to mention in his lyrics and say or do, or even the theatrics of his songs. You know, you hear somebody screaming and he's just punching them or whatever. And, you know, like the media always went after Shady, right? Eminem. And he always turned around and gave him the bird. He flipped him off and said, screw you, get out of my face. This is what I do. I'm just speaking on my, you know, life events. This is how I deal with this, how I cope, right? But we all loved it because he was telling those who think that they know what's right for all of us. It's like, it's not an all sides fits. You know what I'm saying? So Slim Shady, Eminem, was, his music was a way for many people to feel normal. Many people listen to that shit, me myself included. We listened to that and we kind of just, like, it just felt, you felt better after listening to it, because it's like, at the end of the day, you hear the guy's lyrics, you feel the pain in his voice, you can relate to some of the stuff, and you just like, it just, that's what music is supposed to do, right? Granted, not all music is for everybody. That's why you have metal. To me, I love metal when I go to the gym, but do I listen to metal to relate to whatever no, half of the time I don't even understand the lyrics in a metal band. They're just like, dude, but it's helpful. So, you know, other people might just listen to that and be like, I can't understand that shit, I don't like it. It just sounds like white noise to me. I can't stand it. Please get that out of my face. So then comparing now to him bashing on Trump, it was just like he was following everybody else's trajectory. Like, he wasn't himself. He didn't stand out anymore. He was almost like, just follow the mob rule. Follow the mob. Whatever the mob says, let's do what the mob says, because right now it's trendy. That was never Eminem. Eminem was never a trendy person, in my opinion. That's why he is the GOAT. He is Eminem. Because he was never a person to follow any trend. I don't give a fuck how he would benefit off of it financially. He never did. Right? He never was the trend person. Now, he did talk politics, just like with the whole Bush and all that. But at that point, to me, he had more sense, because he was talking about the Iraq War. He was talking about how they lied to us, right? Yeah, because it was for the second term. He was talking about basically how we're going over to fight these senseless wars that we should never be in. And a lot of people feel like that. We still feel like that. But you're going on Trump. Even your freestyle to Trump was whack. It was weak, dog. Just gotta say it. It was almost like you didn't know what to say. You just decided to say what you heard, what was trendy. Again, trendy. It didn't fit. But it is what it is. He did what he did. And then he did apologize afterwards, I believe. It wasn't that much of an apology. Because, you know, it's just one of those, like, I didn't mean, you know, just the heat of the moment or whatever. Whatever. But
as children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need the chains. They gave us tiny screens. We think we free because we can't see the cage. They knew that race was
nice. They gave us tiny screens so we can focus and we don't see the cage. What? Dude. Wow. Let's keep going.
They need to play for people to big teams. They use the media to feed the flame. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings.
They use the media to raise the flames, exactly.
They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Again, that's the Ben Shapiro line. Facts don't care about your feelings. That's exactly how I feel. This guy relates. I relate to this guy a lot, man, because it's like the media is trying, or people on the other side of your opinions, if you don't agree with them, they're not trying to convince you why you should come and join them, or why you should see things their way. They're telling you, like, you have to or else. And again, like I said, just like he says, I don't like to be told what to do. Don't come to me telling me what I should do or what I need to do, not what I should do. Because even what you should do is, like, it will be taken a lot better, or at least a little smoother, right? But that's not what they do. What they do is say, this is how it is because we said so. Now make it that, or, you know, whatever. So he
Crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter, but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home.
Damn. That's, as a parent, I have daughters that look up to me. Even now when I play music that I used to listen to as a teenager, and it has something to do with, you know, especially like reggaeton, it's about, you know, perreo and, you know, basically the female shaking their asses, which is nowadays that's what it is, right? But even now, like, I have this sense of, like, I have this voice in the back of my head. It's like, dude, that's not cool anymore. You can't listen to that. And even though they have music nowadays that they listen to, and I try to deter them from it, but, you know, teenagers with teenagers that are way more explicit than what I used to listen to. Like, growing up, like, they basically, every song now is like reggaeton sex. And for those of you who know what reggaeton sex was, you know what I'm talking about. And and it's like every album, every reggaetonero now, like the young ones that are just coming out, making a name for themselves, it's like a whole bunch of reggaeton sex albums being printed or being pushed out there. So, and that fake woke, you know, people kind of, it's virtue signal, right? I complain about it all the time. I make videos about it. I go on Instagram. I try to have a conversation with people that I know that are just using the virtue signal, right? They're just trying to virtue signal for no reason, or, you know, maybe it is to make themselves feel better, and at someone else's expense. And, you know, it's, you claim to be inclusive, you're not inclusive, because thoughts or ideas that you don't believe in are not welcome. And at the same time, you want to preach to be good people and kind, and as soon as somebody steps in and be like, well, I don't believe that, I believe this, and this is what I stand for, I actually voted for that guy, and it's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, get out of my face. It's like, what? Anyway,
Censorship's an issue because they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech
burning
and speech
books,
that you hate.
like
I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food in my family without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got
okay, yeah, I do the same thing. Like, I don't see what's the issue, right? Like, I see what's the issue, right? You want to learn history, and then history the way it was taught to us in schools. It's like, you know, like Columbus Day. It's not really his day because it's not true. I get all that, but at the same time, it's like, so what?
so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming deep on the police, y'all a genius for sure.
Again, the riots were happening all year long, right? In Seattle, they even made an autonomous zone. They made a whole separate country, according to them. It's like, what? They had like 10 murders in 4 days over there. All young people. But yet, January 6th was an insurrection. And it was just a whole bunch of people walking in. Yeah, there was some idiots. The whole thing was a bad idea, to just walk inside. No, because that's a federal building, even though it's technically our Capitol building. There are rules, and it's a federally protected spot. DC, how in the DC itself, it's like the rules there, the law's different because of the fact that it's a political, where all politics comes to divulge or kind of congregate there. So anything that happens can be considered a terrorist act because it has something to do with the because it's politics involved. It's very, very federally protected. So the fact that people walked into that building without permission was one thing. There was a death. I think there was a death of a police officer, but I think it was because of a heart attack. It might have been the second one. I'm not sure, because I'm not gonna bring it up because I'm not gonna get into it because I'm not fully aware of all the details on that. Not anymore, at least. But anyway, they call that out. But the riots, it was okay. Everybody turned a blind eye to the riots. That's cool. Let's just call it out. You call it out on this side, call it out on that side. Call a spade, like Pitbull said.
They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first. Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves. They so fake woke, facts don't care what to believe in. They so
I'm just going forward.
Why it isn't working, that's we use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase. But you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him
again. That's because of the lobbyists that be in Congress. Republicans are rhinos, cronies. Democrats use hateful language, right? Or language that incites a lot of hate and violent actions, in my opinion, to people who don't support them. And like I said, the Republicans, most of them just kind of give the bare minimum, because again, they like the whole lobbying. They like the whole donate to this, we'll donate to this foundation for you, or what's that, charity or whatever, if you kind of see our perspective on this decision that you might be called upon, so swing it our way a little bit, so it's kind of like that's how they get rich. I mean, we know all this, we see it, we know it's real. So that's why I said pay attention to who you vote locally, because that matters when they go federally. It's who you pick locally that goes up there and is able to make moves for you. A lot of the times, most of us have kind of put it on autopilot and left it like that, or at least it was put on autopilot for us, and we kind of grown up, and it's like, we'll just whatever the news says. That guy is a racist. I wonder, if everybody says it, must be true. Let's go with that. I don't know. Like I said, it's Batman in the background. It's like I love that character because he does not trust anybody. He sees everything, or he steps back and sees everything and calculates and sees the information, then makes up his mind.
Crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill. When the side effects get you high, you get addicted like these rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate.
That's it right there. They're trying to pick and choose what is the truth that they want you to know, or at least what they want to feed you. And it goes back to what we learned in 5th grade, bro. Like the slaves back in the times of slavery, they didn't allow them to learn how to read for a reason, because they didn't want them to be intellectually better. They wanted to keep them dumb and working for them. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to what Kanye West has said when he says slavery is a mindset. Now, I didn't like the way he said it, but if you dive into what that phrase means, it's like he said, it's like there was so much more of slaves than the actual plantation owners, that at any given time they could have risen up and taken over, you know. But when you're given limited amount of information, and especially like the whole Uncle Tom, well, I'm not sure exactly, so I won't bring that up. But the fact that they will have one person, they will get one slave and bring him in the house and kind of treat him better, feed him, you know, he's okay, you're in charge of these slaves. It gives him that kind of level of power that he was afraid to lose. So he would make sure everybody would stay in line and listen to the master, right? So it all comes down to being able to think critically for yourself. And how do you do that other than educating yourself? Which is why reading is important. That's why, you know, I try to tell my kids I didn't like reading growing up, but I see how important it was, or how important it is. And so I'm glad my kids, about 75% of them like to read. So
Trying to change amen to amen and women. How we let them make
that was
praying
stupid
a
too.
micro.
Amen, a woman, like that Democrat, first of all, is a Democrat congressman, I think. He was opening the day at Congress with a prayer, and he said amen, and then he said a women, and it's like, that guy's he's supposed to be like a pastor of some kind as well. And it's like, I hope you know that amen doesn't actually mean a man or men. Like, that's not what it means. But you want to go and interject a women. You serious? So at the end of, you see that clown show, and it's like, that's not even, it's not whatever. It's just a show. It's a clown show is what it is. And people fall for it.
Aggression. Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most
that happens all the time.
But these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't
That's
trust
true.
anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. Just kidding. But everything else that I said is right.
That's an oldie but a goodie. But it's true. Feminism nowadays, before it was give me a task and allow me the opportunity to finish the task as if I was a man. Okay, fine. Now it's like, don't talk to me. Stop mansplaining to me. I can do this on my own. Oh, by the way, you need to change the rules on this because I need to be able to finish it. But I still want to be treated equally. Okay. Equally cuando le conviene. When it's beneficial. That's what it seems like. And I don't care who feels offended by that. That's just the truth. You could criticize me. Yeah, I'm a one-legged man. I go to work and then I come and I sit down and I try to make videos to make a living off talking shit online, right? Because that's what it seems to be nowadays. You can be able to just sit down and talk shit. At least the shit that I feel like I want to talk is actually battling against this sick idea of like men are trash, or all men should be more like women because masculinity is toxic. Nah, I'm sorry, but no. Let's continue.
They so fake woke. Facts don't give me what to believe in. They so fake.
Okay. Like I said, man, the Nova, that's his girl. You know, it's just him and his girl. It's just them two. No record label, no nothing. It's just them. People buy his album, and he signs them and he sends them all out. So, gotta respect that, man. It's a good song. It's got a lot of messaging on there that, you know, it's just, what can I say? So, that was Tom McDonald, Fake Woke. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this a long episode. Probably stop it right about now. But again, Tom McDonald, fake woke, man. Like always, he always hits the social points, and he comes out strong, but then he kind of puts it in a way where it's like you can't deny it. You can't really argue against. You can debate it, but you can't argue against the fact that that's what you're seeing. You know. And if you at this point you're not willing to talk about any of these problems, then you're just shutting yourself on purpose to the issues, and that's not going to make anything better. So, like I said, Batman back there, it's my favorite superhero for a reason, man. He's the master of critical thinking right there. So again, I just like to promote Batman because it's DC and Marvel sucks. Yeah, I said it. But yeah, I think I'll stop it there. I had a couple other things here that I got enough to make for another episode, so we'll just keep this at a 0.5 episode. Have a good night, everybody. Have a good morning. Have a good day. Whenever you're listening to this, enjoy. God bless. And again, thank you for stopping by and listening to me talk shit. Have a good night, everybody.